Hey there guys, and welcome to Divinity Original Sin 2. Now, also, I'm Ubisoft, and this game is cool because it has a lot of story, and it has a lot to do. Well priced for what it is. I think it's like $60, which that's a good price for what it is due to how much is in the game. Like, Pookie. You could, this game can give you hundreds upon hundreds of hours in this game. So I guess let's jump into the story. Also, what's cool is a bunch of the other characters you could have in your team. I'll show you them later, like in a few minutes. They all have their own personality. They all have their own backstory, like such as like one of the characters don't like another character, and so like mid-conversation they'll step in and say something to that character. It's very cool, and also you can go down a bunch of different paths. Now, these are the characters you can have in your team, or you could be one of the characters, which I'm gonna make my own character. You can go down different roads. Like you could say different things in conversations that will then make other characters think of you differently, or make other characters like you more, or even lead down a different storyline. Now what I usually so here are the characters you can have in your party. There's Sabile. You can see her origin info, but I'm not going to read that. I already know her. I know her for the most part. You can pause and read that if you want. Sabile, she was the slave of a lizard, which actually I'm going to change the gender. There you go. Sabile has the scar on her face of a that's basically like the symbol of like that like lizards give you if you're their slave or something. They scar you with that, and she doesn't like lizards due to that. That's kind of her thing. The Red Prince, he is a lizard who used to be king, but then he got exiled or something. And also he came out looking red, and then there was kind of like evil. So that's his thing. Lose, who is a magic lady, who also she has two people inside of her, herself and also some other like weird monster thing that every so often comes out and is crazy. This guy, which I'm not even gonna attempt to say his name, he's basically a werewolf. That's kind of his thing. Fane, he is a certain type of skeleton that has that little symbol on his forehead, which only a few of them, or like not too many of them existed, and his whole race is gone, and he's looking for them. That's kind of his thing. And he wears a face, like a fake face, so that then he can hide the fact that he's a skeleton and look normal. So the people are just kind of like, skeleton, kill him. Beast, not quite sure of his story actually. Your failed rebellion against the queen nearly destroyed you, so You began a new life on the high seas. Now your old enemy is back. If you don't stop her, no one will. Okay, so basically, I guess he was fighting the queen and lost, and now he's going out to go fight the queen again, I guess. Now, I usually go with Undead Lizard for multiple reasons. He is, I'm making my character now. He is what Undead Lizards can do, regular lizards they don't need a shell to dig stuff, they can just use their hands to dig stuff. And since he's a skeleton, he can't show that he is a skeleton, or else other people will be like, evil, kill him. So like you have to always be wearing a mask or a hood, and you always have to be wearing a shirt and pants. And also another good thing about lizards, undead, is actually while in combat, they have a move called Play Dead, where they play dead and then the enemy thinks you're dead until you move. These are very cool. Also, I think they have another move, but oh right, yeah. They can pick locks with their finger due to being a skeleton and their finger is thin, so they can just pick the lock. But there are a bunch of other undead things like undead human, undead elf, undead dwarf, stuff like that. But see what the elves can do, regular elves, at least. Also these, they can like they eat. Say you give them, say someone dies and then you give them a piece of that person, they'll eat it and then they can be just kind of like, oh, this person died from this, and this is what he saw before he died. Which, that's cool, but that's why I'm gonna get Sabille. Also, she's kind of, she's a bit crazy. Okay. She's a bit crazy. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Undead Lizard. And I'm going to be not a Shadow Blade, not a Wizard, I'm going to be yes, a Knight. I'm going to be a Knight. Okay, onto appearance. Face. What you got here, right? I quite like this one. And I usually stick with this one, which is the pointy spine going down. And I usually go with snow. Hair color doesn't really matter for this one because you don't got no hair. You did.
Meet your maker.
I'm ready! Ha, nice try.
Prepare yourself. I'll yield to none.
You're not trying to escape, are you?
I'll yield to none.
I'm ready.
Better luck next time.
Greet the Reaper for me.
I'm gonna go with that one. Now, the attributes I usually keep fairly the same, but I quite like this one. So I'm gonna keep it like this. However, the skills. Actually, no, these are quite good skills. I mean, I like it. Okay. Talents. Opportunist. See, Opportunist is really good because I usually go with one out of these two. It's either Opportunist, because Opportunist, say if you're in battle and someone is trying to run past you, you'll have a chance to swing at them and maybe they'll get hit. But another one I usually go with is Pet Pal, because with Pet Pal you can you can talk to animals, and it's really cool for that reason. And maybe you'll get an item out of it. You'll definitely get a funny story out of it, most likely. Most of the time, because this game is very funny. But you'll most likely get a mission out of it. So I think I'm gonna go with, also, you might even get a, what's it called? Companion out of it. So I'm gonna go with Pet Pal. And, eventually, when you level up, you'll be able to pick another one of these. Now, tags, male, undead, lizard, those are just things I have because of the race I chose. But what I usually also go with is outlaw and soldier. This will change what people think of you, and also it'll give you other things to say during storylines. Now, the instrument, which is, exactly, it'll lead the music during fights, so it's kind of like your, theme song. Put it like that. What I usually choose is that, or that. I think I'm gonna go with that. The, oud. Or oud, or... yeah. And, you can name them. I'm gonna name them. Instead of Rahamus, I'm gonna name them Yugoslav. Now then, let's get on with it, mate. We're playing as undead. Yep, okay. This whole thing, which is you gotta wear a hat at all times. Oh yeah, and also due to me being a skeleton, I don't heal with regular healing potions. I heal with poison, and I can walk through death fog, which is basically fog that will kill you. Now, this whole thing is unneeded. Basically, all this is, by the way, it's quite long. It's like maybe 10 minutes, I think, if I remember correctly. Basically, all it is a bit of backstory. Evil witch lady attacked a place, and she's evil.
Well, look what the dog dug up. You're lucky they didn't notice just how thin you were under those bandages. Although, seeing someone wrapped up like that, they probably thought you had the scabbing plague. Heh? Look, laugh, but don't touch. Better keep that hood down, mind you. The living don't take kindly to seeing their future staring back at them.
Indeed. Okay. So, I can do that. I'm gonna take a potion, this thing, one jar, and one laboratory stuff, and I'm gonna look in the books. Nothing. Yep, can't.
Ah, you're up. Yes. There. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters.
So, here are my choices. You pull at the thing around your neck, futilely. Demand to know why she's collared you. Give the master a quick salute and report for duty on the ship. Look around warily and wonder what dungeon you've ended up in this time. I'm gonna go with the outlaw.
Dungeon? You have the gall to call my laboratory a dungeon?
Indeed.
Oh, I'd be quite annoyed with you if you didn't look so honestly perplexed.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, You do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so... open up the door.
Good gods. There's been a murder here.
Top of the morning to you.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
Inform her she wasn't this man's protector, she was his captor. Ask why she's letting you so close to the crime scene. For all she knows, you could be the killer.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course.
You are a sorcerer after all. Tell her that's a trick you haven't quite mastered. Ask if she's investigated her fellow magisters as well. One of them could have easily done this. Or say you don't hail from the House of Dreams. When you sleep, you truly sleep. I'm gonna go with I haven't quite mastered that trick
I
yet.
thought as much. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. Our
Sounds
thanks. I just want to catch whoever did this before they hurt anyone else.
See ya. To the barrel? No. Okay, no. Let's pop that. So, here are some of the... Actually, here are all of the, well, most of the people you will be in a, group with. Such as this guy. I'm not
A
even
scruffy
bothered to pronounce
man
his
lounges
name.
against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again.
Move closer, but clench your fists in case something goes south. For some reason, your instinct cries out to salute to Ifan, but you hold yourself back. For some reason, your instinct cries out to salute Ifan, so you do. Move
He
closer.
leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
Ask Ifan why the Magister suspects him of murder. This doesn't seem like the optimal part of the ship to hang around. Take your
We
leave.
used to know
I'm
each other,
asking.
more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants.
Ask Ifan what he did to find himself at mercy of a word. Say that you're still curious about the murder. Did he do it? Or quietly back away. Says that you're still curious. Did
No.
he do it?
The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. and I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
Okay.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough.
Ask Ifan what he did to find himself at... okay, same stuff, okay.
Ifan performs an elaborate...
Okay, so Sabil should be over here. Yeah, okay, great.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
Wonder what she's doing.
Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
Frown, whose fate is she deciding? Laugh, can she read the future and cow entrails as well?
Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
If she can decide fates with dice, okay. Decide as well. Okay, I'm asking.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
You don't see why not? Extend your arm. Decline.
She looks at you in surprise when you bare an arm of bone.
My. Guess I'll have to find out the memory from Marrow, won't I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers, watching, staring at them, hoping that none would stare back. You were thinking of flesh. Or, to be rather more precise, the pleasures of the flesh. Those that have eluded you for so long.
Stare at the ground embarrassed. Admit. Or snap at her. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm gonna say that's exactly right.
Of course it is. The truth's right there, skin deep, so to speak. But don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell.
Okay.
Would I reassure you and you shut up?
Beast.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
Ask what you're meant to be hearing. Waive the request. I'm asked what I'm supposed to be
Shep,
hearing.
of course.
Quieten and listen to the sound.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
Tell him the ship is mourning like a sickness.
Sick as a leper's cat. From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless babes who never loved anyone but their own mums. But there's more. Listen. There now, just like that. Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news.
Nah, you heard it was supposed
It's
to be.
the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we've been travelling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
Tell him he shouldn't talk that way about it. It was such a magnificent beard. Yep, I like that one.
Ah, so you've eyes as well as ears, eh? You'll go far, mate. Even here.
Ask why he's so excited about reaching Fort Joy. You haven't heard anything good about the place. No, he must be a practiced sailor. I'm gonna ask.
No indeed, boy. But that ain't my final destination.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
Alright, see ya. Okay, the Red Prince.
You've got this.
Well, what have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
Humor him.
There's some discoloration, as well as a rather disconcerting lack of tongue and gums, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you...
Yes.
Music to my beleaguered stomach.
Okay.
On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
Yes.
Oh, but to feel the caress of satin on my scarlet skin once more. A most satisfactory answer indeed. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after. The very basics, then. I suppose that's a start. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you can cook, tailor, and groom. Well, that just about settles it. I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave.
Yes, sir.
Of course
I
you
just want to get on
are.
his good side. So
Mine
then
wasn't
I
an
can
offer,
have
it
him
was
in
an
my group
order.
later.
Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once we reach Fort Joy. Now shoo!
Your kind always hung closest to
I believe only one left, which is Loso.
Ah, there you are. Husband. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not at all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical.
Play along and take her arm with a grin. Yeah, sure.
How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we?
Say that's true. Shake her hand.
You presume right.
Ask if she knows anything about murder. Sure.
Nope. Trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
Tell her she ought to have her look around with you. You can watch each other's back.
Thanks,
Sure.
but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about right there. There's like another person
I'm trying to
in it.
concentrate.
Anyway,
Care about us. We're like
I think I should end it here. Ooh, boom.
I'll get to
I
that
think I should
now.
end it here.
One of us wouldn't kill our
This
own.
is just a video to
Picking
get
us
to know
up
everybody and make my own character. Alright, anyway.
Just skip to the
Oh
part
yeah,
where I
panel
reassure you and you shut up.
journal, which is like stuff I found out, character, inventory, equipment, skills, and crafting.
Sufferable.
Anyway,
Surely.
yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.